History shows no mercy to the man who chooses the wrong woman. It doesn't sympathize. It doesn't rescue. It simply records his fall and moves on. This is the brutal law. Every man eventually learns, but most learn it too late. They learn it standing over the grave of their own potential, wondering how they let everything collapse without even firing a shot. The world, it won't warn you. Your mother will smile. Your friends will be blind. And society, it thrives on your ignorance. But Machiavelli knew. He saw through the illusion. He knew that the ruin of most men did not come from fate, nor misfortune, nor bad timing. It came from one decision: letting the wrong woman into his life. While the crowd dreams of fairy tales, loyalty, love, happily ever after, Machiavelli whispers truth. Men judge more by appearances than by reality. All men have eyes, but few have the gift of true perception. So let's be clear. There are only two kinds of women in this world: the beneficial and the destructive. No gray, no maybe, no she's complicated. You are either rising because of her, or slowly dying with her in your arms. And here's the brutal twist. Many women today have perfected the act, appearing valuable while being nothing but refined predators, wrapped in elegance. Yes, predators. Parasites in disguise. And if you flinch at that truth, you're exactly the kind of man they feast on. This isn't hatred. This isn't bitterness. This is strategy. Because Machiavelli made it clear: he who seeks to deceive will always find someone willing to be deceived. That someone is the man who chooses based on feelings instead of facts. So here is your first commandment: never choose a woman based on appearance alone. Never. She could be breathtaking, but if her mind is empty, her morals are rotten, and her loyalty is auctioned to the next man with more, you're not looking at a queen. You're looking at polished poison. Machiavelli said, "Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are." And the same applies to her. So if you're wise, you look deeper. You study her patterns, her values, her respect for structure, her relationship with self-control. You observe how she speaks about people who aren't there, how she treats those she doesn't need to impress. Because the men who lose everything, they didn't miss a red flag. They ignored it. You don't stumble into a good woman. You select her. You test her. Like a general maps the battlefield before a war. Machiavelli warned, the wise man does it once, what the fool does finally. So stop being the fool who waits until he's trapped before waking up. You don't get to cry later if you chose blindness now. And here comes the second commandment: never choose a woman who disrespects masculine authority. If she sees your strength as a threat instead of a shelter, leave. If she competes with your leadership instead of complimenting it, leave. Because a woman who resents structure will bring nothing but chaos into your life. And Machiavelli knew. Chaos is how kingdoms fall. If she challenges your vision, but offers no wisdom, walk away. Because a woman who refuses to respect masculine order will not just disagree with your path, she will sabotage it. She will turn your structure into emotional chaos, your focus into noise, your legacy into dust. This is how kings fall. Not by war, not by enemies, but by the slow erosion of direction caused by the wrong woman. You are not here to fix her, not to heal her, not to teach her what loyalty means. You are here to build, and building requires alignment, not opposition. Machiavelli knew this well. He warned, men who fail to secure their power soon become slaves to the very forces they once sought to master. You think you can handle her chaos. You think your patience is strength. You think love will fix it. No, it won't. Because here's the truth. She already has power. Yours. You gave it away the moment you chose her, without testing her. And now, she rules. Not with respect, but with drama. Not with loyalty, but with leverage. Power, in relationships, is never up for negotiation. You either possess it, or you surrender it. Most men, driven by their thirst for affection, wrap their surrender in velvet words. Compromise, understanding, partnership, noble words. But Machiavelli would call them what they truly are: beautiful lies. He said it plainly. It is much safer to be feared than loved. If you must choose, and you must choose, because love without respect is slavery with a smile. The man who lets his woman lead him in the name of peace is no different from a puppet king wearing a fake crown while his kingdom rots from within. So test her. Set a boundary. Tell her no. Withdraw your time, your money, your presence, and then watch. Will she honor your distance? Or will she use guilt, tears, and manipulation to pull you back in? Most women today have been trained by a weak culture to believe that men exist to feed their endless emotional appetite. And most men, hungry for peace, serve on their knees. But not you. Not anymore. Your third commandment is this: watch how she handles boredom. Every woman behaves well when the gifts are flowing, when the dinners are fancy, when the spotlight is on her. But boredom? That's where truth lives. Can she create value in silence? Or does she start fires just to feel seen? Can she wait with patience? Or does she spark petty drama to feel important? Because the woman who can't master herself in peace will wreck your world in the storm. You want a woman who brings calm, not a ticking emotional time bomb disguised as passion. And then comes the modern lie. Her body count doesn't matter. Her past isn't your business. You're insecure if you care. Machiavelli would laugh. He said, the promise given was a necessity of the past. The promise broken is a necessity of the present. In other words, people lie especially when it serves them. Her past. It's not just history. It's prophecy. A woman who betrayed others before you is not starting fresh. She's sharpening her tactics while you look the other way. So here's your fourth commandment. Never invest in a woman whose values you do not share. You are a man with vision, or at least you should be. And a man with vision does not marry lust. He partners with alignment. If she mocks your goals, if she laughs at your ambition, if she's obsessed with clout and dead to legacy, leave. I don't care how seductive she is. I don't care how sweet she sounds. When she wants something, because no matter how good she looks, if she despises your mission, she will destroy your future. Let's stop pretending. Because here's the truth. You keep refusing to swallow. The wrong woman will not just hurt you, she will cost you your destiny. And no amount of pleasure, no level of lust, no moment of ecstasy is worth standing over the grave of your wasted potential. Now comes the hardest commandment of all, the one no man wants to hear, but every man must obey. If she does not fear losing you, she will never truly value you. That is the most brutal law of all, but it is also the most consistent. A woman who believes you'll always be there, no matter what, no matter how many times she disrespects you, withdraws her effort, or stops adding value, will not love you more. She will despise you. Why? Because what costs nothing is worth nothing. Machiavelli understood this better than most. Men must be either caressed or crushed. And make no mistake, women do the same. If she cannot lose you, she will crush you. If she fears losing you, she will rise to meet your value. The man who is feared is not feared because he is cruel. He is feared because his absence carries weight. So stop making yourself so available. Stop rewarding her tantrums with attention. Stop offering gifts for her disrespect. Stop begging for crumbs when you should be commanding loyalty. The man who is willing to walk away holds the power, always has, always will. And here's the hard part. These truths are easy to speak, but brutal to live. Because to live them, you must first destroy the weak man inside you, the romantic, the sentimentalist, the boy who still believes that love alone can rewrite female nature. You've been programmed to think that sincerity will save you, that if you're loyal enough, soft enough, patient enough, she will stay. She won't, because she's not leaving your kindness. She's leaving your weakness. And most men today aren't broken by women. They're broken by their illusions about women. Machiavelli was merciless toward men who denied reality. He said, men are driven by two principal impulses, either by love or by fear. And let me be clear, fear commands more power than love. Always has, always will. The woman you can't walk away from is the woman who owns you. And worse, she knows it. Watch how her tone changes when she knows. You might walk away, It softens. Her loyalty sharpens. Her chaos retreats. But the man, who is endlessly available, she grows colder. She grows bolder. She pushes the limits. Because she doesn't trust him. Not because she's evil, but because female nature does not trust what it does not respect. And a man who refuses to protect his value cannot lead. Let me say it plainly. The most dangerous woman in your life is not the one who screams. It's the one who sees you as emotionally useful, but not worthy of following. You think she loves you because she vents to you? Because she cries on your shoulder? Because she tells you her secrets? That's not love. That's emotional extraction. Ask yourself, does she follow your guidance? Does she rise when you raise the standard? Does she soften when you assert your boundaries? If not, you're not her king. You're her emotional trash can. And she will keep dumping until she finds a man she respects. Think that's harsh? Good. Let it burn. Because the pain you're feeling right now is the fire that forges men. Most men try to negotiate respect. They bend further. They give more. They shrink smaller. Fools. Machiavelli warned. One who deceives will always find those who allow themselves to be deceived. Don't be that man. Enough lies. You've deceived yourself long enough. Respect is not something you earn through begging. It is not negotiated with affection, gift-wrapped in compromise, or maintained by walking on eggshells. Respect is commanded, and if you have to beg for it, you've already lost it. So how do you command it? By living like a man who is willing to lose her at any moment. Because the man who fears loss becomes a servant to her moods, her whims, her manipulations. But the man who embraces loss, he becomes her obsession. She will test you. She will push you. She will provoke you to see if your strength is real or just decorative. And when she does, you must bite. You must walk. You must vanish. Not to punish her, but to remind her that you are a man who values himself more than he fears her absence. Now listen carefully. This next part is the step most men never take. Watch her relationship with other men. Not just her ex. Not just her male friends. Watch how she talks about men in general. Does she admire masculine strength? Or mock it? Does she speak with honor about her father? Her mentors? Her brothers? Or does she spit venom, sarcasm, and bitterness toward every masculine force that's come before you? Because here's the truth. No simp wants to hear. A woman who secretly despises men will never fully submit to one. She might act sweet. She might smile. But bitterness is like rust. It always surfaces. And when it does, you won't find a companion beside you. You'll find a competitor. Machiavelli knew this all too well. The promise given was a necessity of the past. The word broken is a necessity of the present. Don't marry her promises. Marry her patterns. If her life before you was chaos, it will not suddenly become peace just because you showed up. If she was lazy, reckless, and bitter before you. She will not magically become disciplined and soft beside you. You are not the exception. You are not the savior. And if you ignore the signs, you're not her man. You're the next fool in line. So why do most men ignore all of this? Because deep down, you're clinging to a fantasy. The fantasy that you'll be the one who finally changes her. That your love is different. That your patience will heal her. That your loyalty will inspire her. It won't. You're not her father. You're not her therapist. You're not her God. You're a man. And your time is your life. Every moment you waste trying to reform a woman who resists growth is a moment you steal from your future self. Machiavelli said it plainly. The wise man does it once. What the fool does finally. Don't live as the fool. And here's the truth you won't hear in any mainstream motivational video. No woman is your purpose. Not one. Your purpose is your mission, your discipline, your legacy. A woman is either an asset to that mission or a liability that will derail it. And most men today flip that equation upside down. They worship her. They center their lives around her. And she feels it. And she loses all respect. Why? Because women don't trust men who orbit them. They trust men who orbit their mission. This is why the same woman who disrespects one man will worship another. The difference isn't her. It's the man's frame. So burn this lesson into your soul. Never choose a woman who cannot thrive in your absence. You want to know who she really is? Step back. Watch how she lives without you. Does she descend into chaos or rise in discipline? The woman who needs constant reassurance, constant attention, constant drama to feel alive. She will drain your empire until there's nothing left to rule. But the woman who multiplies in your absence, who holds the standard even when you're gone, who honors your mission even when you're not watching, that is a woman worth keeping. Machiavelli once said, "It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both." In relationships, this means one brutal thing. You must be willing to make her uncomfortable in the name of your standards. If she crosses a line, you call it out immediately. If she disrespects your time, you withdraw it. If she tests your strength, you show her the door. Not out of cruelty, but because you are a man who protects the empire you are building. Bend once, and you will bend forever. And make no mistake, she knows this. Here's your next commandment. Choose a woman whose presence strengthens your discipline, not weakens it. The woman who tempts you to skip the gym, who mocks your goals, who finds humor in your pursuit of excellence. That woman is not loving you. She is betraying you. And the betrayal is silent, subtle, coated in smiles and sweet words. But it's treason nonetheless. A beneficial woman is not a distraction. She is a sharpening stone. She pushes you. She calls you higher. She holds you accountable. She does not beg you to soften. She dares you to stay sharp. And now, a word to the man who already knows he chose wrong. You, who sits in the quiet panic, thinking, what if it's too late? Let me tell you, it's not. But it will cost you. It may cost your pride, your comfort, your money. But ask yourself this: what's more expensive, leaving now or dying slowly over the next 20 years as your soul rots in silence? Because the truth is this: the wrong woman will drain you until nothing remains. And when you are empty, she will leave anyway. Because nature has no mercy on the man who refuses to lead himself. Machiavelli warned, people respect what they fear losing. If she does not fear losing you, it's because you already taught her you can be walked over. That ends now. You are not here to be a chapter in her story. You are here to write your own, to build, to lead, to conquer. And your kingdom, your name, your legacy, will either rise or fall, based on the woman you let inside its gates. The tragedy of the modern man is not weakness itself, but the belief that weakness is compassion. You've been trained to think that letting it slide is mature, that tolerating disrespect is noble, that passivity is love. But Machiavelli stripped away such delusions. A prince who is not himself wise cannot be wisely advised. Meaning, if you are weak, you will surround yourself with weakness. And weak men don't just attract chaotic women, they select them. You thought it was bad luck. You thought she just happened to be like that. No. You chose her. Your softness called to her chaos, like a candle calls to moths. You opened the door, let her in, and now your soul is paying rent in her kingdom. But if you're still listening, it means you're waking up. So let me give you the final blow. The truth that stings but saves. You are exactly where you deserve to be. The woman in your life, whether she's blessing or curse, you picked her. Maybe out of lust, maybe out of fear, maybe out of boredom, but you did it. And until you face that truth like a man, you will repeat the cycle, blaming women, blaming society, blaming fate, never realizing the only one who ever had the power to stop it was you. Enough. Stop the excuses. Stop the waiting. Stop playing the victim. Machiavelli's lessons were never meant for the man who clings to weakness. They are for the man who takes ownership, who looks in the mirror and sees the architect of his own downfall. Here's what most men do. They wait. They wait for the perfect woman to fall from the sky. They invest nothing in their value. They sharpen nothing in their discernment. They drift through life, guided by feelings. But feelings are liars. And women have mastered the art of manipulating feelings. They know how to trigger your need for validation, your hunger for warmth, your thirst for intimacy. But here's the final law. Forget all the rest if you must, but carve this one into your soul. Men in general judge more by the eye than by the hand. For all can see a thing, but few understand what they are seeing. Yes, you have eyes, but do you have insight? Can you sit across from beauty and see through the illusion? Can you hear the sweet words and know they are masks? Do you have the strength to walk away when your body begs you to stay? That is what separates the fool from the sovereign. A real man does not choose based on desire. He chooses based on alignment. He selects based on mission. He filters with strategy, not lust. And now, your final commandment. Test her loyalty in your absence before you ever trust her in your presence. Any woman can behave when you're watching. The real test is what she does when you're not. Does she guard your name in rooms you're not in? Does she reject the gaze of other men without being asked? Does she live by your standard when there's no praise to earn, no spotlight to reward her? Or does she drift the moment your back is turned? Because the woman who cannot be trusted in your absence will betray you in your darkest hour. So stop apologizing for your standards. Stop explaining why you walked away. Stop lowering your crown to make her feel taller. You are not here to settle. You are here to build. And if she cannot build with you, she will destroy you. Not out of evil, but because that is nature. That is the unspoken law of chaos. Machiavelli warned kings, fortify your cities, secure your gates, protect your borders. Why? Because every kingdom that falls first opened its gates to the wrong outsider. And you, my brother, are a kingdom. Your time, your attention, your money, your mission, they are your walls. Guard them like your life depends on it, because it does. Now listen closely. This is the final game being played against you. The illusion of endless options. Modern society tells you that women are everywhere, that you should keep swiping, keep chasing, keep lowering your standards, because there's always another one coming. But Machiavelli would have scoffed. Men sooner forget the death of their father than the loss of their inheritance. And no inheritance is lost faster than the man who chases women who bring nothing but emotional debt. Debt to your purpose, debt to your peace, debt to your legacy. Here is the truth, the one you feel but fear to say aloud. Most women today are not worth selecting. You know it. You see it. You feel it. Every time you open your phone. Women chasing attention, but not virtue. Women chasing followers, but not character. They'll dance for strangers, but won't kneel beside a man who dares to build something real. And yet, you keep telling yourself to settle, to tolerate, to adjust, to make peace with mediocrity. Why? Because you're afraid to be alone. And now, here comes the final blow. Better to walk alone than to walk beside the wrong woman. Because the wrong woman won't just waste your time. She will destroy your clarity, erode your fire, and bury your purpose beneath her comfort. Look around you. Look at the men you once admired. The warriors, the kings, the visionaries. Reduced to silence. Their eyes dimmed. Their posture collapsed. Their edge dulled. Why? because they gave their soul to a woman who never respected what they were building. That is your future. If you ignore what I'm telling you now, that is where you're heading. If you continue trading your legacy for the warmth of a body that chills your spirit, while you entertain the wrong woman, the right one passes by, watching you lower your standards, watching you betray your discipline, watching you sell your crown for the comfort of a lie. You must become a man, willing to endure the loneliness of waiting for the right one, rather than crawling to the wrong one just to feel needed. Machiavelli taught rulers to sacrifice ease for the path of power. The ends justify the means, and your end is your legacy, your peace, your unshakable purpose. The means? Ruthless, precise, uncompromising selection. Because every woman you allow into your world is either sharpening your sword or blunting your edge. There is no middle ground. There is no such thing as a harmless woman. She will either elevate you or enslave you. She will either be your fortress or she will be the breach inside your walls. And here's the most brutal irony. You will spend your life explaining the woman you should have never chosen. You'll lie to your friends. You'll make excuses to your family. You'll whisper to yourself, "It wasn't that bad." But deep down, you'll know. You'll know you saw the signs. You'll know you felt the warnings. You'll remember this message. And you'll remember that you chose to ignore it. And when your kingdom burns, no one will save you, because no one saves the man who refused to save himself. Machiavelli did not write for men who wanted to be loved. He wrote for men who wanted to win. So if you want to win, you must choose like a ruler, not like a beggar. You must test like a king, not plead like a boy. You must be ready to walk away, not because you're heartless, but because your vision is sacred. Your mission is rare. Your time is priceless. And you are not here to be consumed. You are here to conquer. Now you stand at the threshold, and the choice you make next will define you. You will either become a builder of legacy or another forgotten casualty in the battlefield of weak decisions. You've heard the warnings. You felt the fire rise inside you. You know, without a doubt, that the woman beside you can either guard your future or destroy it. And the moment you lower your standard, you set the clock ticking on your own ruin. I am not here to soothe you. I'm here to wake you up. Because comfort is what brought you here. Comfort is what made you blind to what should have been unacceptable. Comfort is what turns kings into clowns and warriors into beggars. Not with her. Not with that kind of woman. And here's the final law. You do not rise by luck. You rise by ruthless standards. The world will not clap for you. You will not be praised. You will be insulted. They'll call you harsh. They'll call you arrogant. But the man who stands alone, with peace in his chest, is richer than the man surrounded by noise, disguised as love. So what now? Make your choice. If this message struck your soul, if your spine straightened as you listened, if clarity cut through your illusions, don't walk away silently. Like this video. Share it with the brothers who need to awaken. Subscribe to this channel, because no one else is going to see this for you. And if you believe in this mission, join us. This isn't just content. This is the front line of the war for masculinity, for clarity, for truth. And while others sit in ruins, you will rise. While they tell stories of what they lost, you will build a life they'll never be man enough to touch. Make your choice, and make it now.
Thanks for spending time here. If this resonated with you, give it a like, send it to a friend, and make sure you're subscribed. Your support means everything.